It's 3:12 a.m. when Mr. Carter, 69, stumbles out of bed. His shirt is soaked in sweat, his hands are trembling, and his mind feels wrapped in thick fog. He grips the doorframe to keep from falling as his wife rushes over. A quick test with his home glucose meter shows the numbers flashing in red, dangerously high. Only hours earlier, he'd been sitting in his recliner, enjoying what he believed was a harmless, even healthy, after-dinner snack, a small bowl of low-fat yogurt with a handful of dried fruit. He'd read the label, seen the words low-fat, all-natural, and no added sugar, and thought he was making a smart choice. But what happened next nearly landed him in the emergency room. If you're over 60, your body simply doesn't process sugar the way it used to. Insulin sensitivity, your body's ability to move sugar from your bloodstream into your cells, declines with age. And here's the hidden danger. Even foods that seem good for you can trigger glucose spikes if eaten at the wrong time. After dinner, your metabolism slows, your muscles are less ready to absorb sugar, and your liver shifts into a nighttime maintenance mode. A snack that would barely raise your blood sugar in the afternoon can send it soaring late at night. For someone like Mr. Carter with borderline diabetes, that spike was more than just a number. It was a direct hit to his health. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Tonight, we're going to uncover a surprising truth. The very snacks you've been told are safe, may be the ones quietly pushing you toward diabetes. And the worst part, they might be sitting in your kitchen right now. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 9 common, healthy nighttime snacks that could be silently raising your blood sugar, and what to eat instead. As we get older, there's a fundamental shift in the way our bodies handle sugar. You might notice that the same slice of cake or bowl of rice you enjoyed in your 40s now leaves you feeling sluggish, thirsty, or foggy-headed. That's not just in your imagination. It's the slow, quiet march of reduced insulin sensitivity. By the time you're in your 60s, the pancreas doesn't respond as efficiently to blood sugar spikes. The cells in your muscles, liver, and fat tissues have also become less responsive to insulin's open up and let the sugar in signal. This means more sugar lingers in your bloodstream for longer, placing extra stress on your body. And when you combine this with nighttime eating, the problem compounds. After sunset, your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, naturally lowers metabolic activity. Your muscles aren't as active, your liver prioritizes rest and repair, and hormone production shifts. Eating a carbohydrate-heavy snack at this time is like asking a factory to take on a rush order when the night shift has already gone home. The result? Sugar builds up in the bloodstream, raising your risk of insulin resistance and eventually type 2 diabetes. Take the case of Mrs. Eleanor, a 72-year-old retired teacher. She prided herself on healthy eating and had switched from ice cream to a light evening snack of whole grain crackers with a smear of honey and a cup of herbal tea. To her surprise, her annual checkup revealed her fasting blood glucose had climbed into the pre-diabetic range. She couldn't understand why. She avoided desserts, she walked daily, and her weight was stable. But when her doctor suggested she wear a continuous glucose monitor for 2 weeks, the truth came out. Every night around 9:30, Eleanor's blood sugar jumped sharply after her snack, peaking just before midnight. It stayed elevated well into the early morning hours. She had unknowingly been giving her body a sugar load at the worst possible time for processing it. Even though the crackers were whole grain and the honey was natural, her older body simply couldn't handle the combination late at night. This isn't about blaming you for enjoying something before bed. It's about recognizing that your physiology has changed. When you understand that your body's sugar handling machinery is slower and less efficient after 60, you can start making small adjustments that have huge benefits. And here's where it gets even trickier. Not all healthy snacks are what they seem, especially when you look at what's hidden inside the ingredients list. That's exactly what we're going to uncover next. The biochemical traps in snacks that market themselves as good for you, but can still send your blood sugar into dangerous territory. When you hear the term healthy snack, what comes to mind? For many seniors, it's things like a small pot of yogurt, a handful of dried fruit, or a granola bar labeled low sugar. These foods carry a health halo. They look and sound safe, especially compared to cookies or chips. But here's the problem. Your body reacts to them far more aggressively than the marketing would have you believe. Let's start with yogurt. Even plain yogurt contains lactose, a natural milk sugar, and when flavored or sweetened, that sugar content can triple. Many low-fat yogurts compensate for the loss of creamy texture by adding more sugar or fruit concentrate. For someone over 60, the combination of natural lactose and added sugars eaten at night can be enough to push blood glucose up 40 to 50 points in under an hour. Then there's dried fruit. Raisins, dates, figs, and dried mango may be natural, but drying them concentrates their sugar content. Just a small handful can contain the equivalent of 3 or 4 teaspoons of sugar. Without the water content of fresh fruit to slow digestion, these sugars hit your bloodstream fast, especially dangerous when your body's nighttime metabolism is sluggish. And don't forget granola bars. Even the ones marketed as energy bars or natural snacks can hide syrups, honey, and fruit juice concentrate. The glycemic load can be as high as a candy bar, but with packaging that makes you think it's a health food. Consider Mr. Harold, 68, a retired bus driver who switched from cookies to a nightly granola bar after dinner. He was proud of the change. The bar was made with oats, nuts, and dried berries, and boasted only 180 calories. But after his doctor suggested tracking his blood sugar with a continuous glucose monitor, Harold was stunned. The bar sent his glucose from a normal 110 milligrams per deciliter to over 180 milligrams per deciliter in just 45 minutes, and it stayed elevated for hours. Even more concerning, the spikes were followed by rapid drops in the early morning, leaving him groggy and irritable upon waking. The danger isn't just the sugar. Certain healthy snacks also contain ingredients that subtly worsen your body's response to glucose. Sweetened yogurts may have stabilizers and artificial flavors that disrupt gut bacteria, which play a role in glucose control. Dried fruits can have added sulfites, which can irritate digestion and cause inflammation, another driver of insulin resistance. This is why focusing only on calorie counts or fat content is a trap. For seniors, the timing, sugar concentration, and processing of the food matter just as much, if not more, than the label's promises. If these healthy snacks can do so much damage, you might wonder, what exactly is happening in your body at night that makes these effects even worse? That's what we'll uncover next, as we explore how your metabolism slows down after dark and why late-night eating is such a perfect storm for blood sugar trouble. Your body runs on a 24-hour internal clock, your circadian rhythm, and it governs more than just your sleep-wake cycle. It influences hormones, digestion, and even the speed at which your cells burn energy. During the day, especially when you're active, your muscles are primed to absorb glucose from your blood, using it for energy almost immediately. But after sunset, that system begins to wind down. High blood sugar isn't just a number on a glucose monitor. It's a chemical event that sets off a cascade of reactions inside your body. One of the most damaging of these is inflammation. You can't see it or feel it at first, but over time, chronic low-grade inflammation acts like a slow-burning fire in your tissues, damaging blood vessels, stiffening arteries, and interfering with nerve function. For seniors, this is particularly dangerous because it accelerates the complications of diabetes, heart disease, kidney problems, vision loss, and neuropathy. When you eat a sugary snack at night and your blood sugar stays elevated for hours, it's like leaving a pot of soup boiling on the stove without turning down the heat. The excess glucose attaches to proteins in your blood in a process called glycation. These sugar-coated proteins trigger your immune system, releasing inflammatory chemicals that damage healthy tissue. This process doesn't cause pain right away, but over months and years, it takes a toll you can't reverse. Mr. Alvarez, 70, found this out after experiencing unexplained swelling and stiffness in his hands and knees. A retired carpenter, he had always assumed joint pain was just part of aging. But when his blood tests showed elevated markers of inflammation and borderline high fasting glucose, his doctor asked about his eating habits. Mr. Alvarez proudly explained that he avoided dessert and fried foods, but admitted he enjoyed a healthy evening snack of dried figs and herbal tea. It turned out that this combination, eaten around 10 p.m., was spiking his blood sugar well into the night. The figs, dense with natural sugar, created repeated surges of glucose that kept his inflammatory markers elevated. After his doctor recommended cutting out late-night snacks entirely or replacing them with low-carb, high-protein alternatives, Mr. Alvarez noticed a remarkable change. Within weeks, the swelling in his hands decreased, his knee pain improved, and his morning stiffness lessened. What makes inflammation so insidious is that it's not just about pain or swelling. Inside your body, it quietly damages the lining of your blood vessels, making it easier for cholesterol to stick and form dangerous plaques. It disrupts insulin signaling, making it even harder for your cells to absorb glucose, which sets off a vicious cycle. High blood sugar causes inflammation, and inflammation makes blood sugar control harder. For seniors already at risk of diabetes, this silent damage can shorten the window of time in which lifestyle changes can prevent the disease from progressing. So, if sugar spikes at night cause this much internal harm, you might ask, what other hidden effects could be quietly worsening your health while you sleep? In the next section, we'll look at how these spikes interfere with something you might not suspect, your ability to get deep, restorative sleep, and how that, in turn, pushes you even closer to diabetes. Most people think of blood sugar problems as an awake time issue, something you measure in the morning or after a meal. But what happens to your blood sugar at night has a direct effect on your sleep quality, and the two are tightly linked. Poor sleep makes blood sugar harder to control, and unstable blood sugar makes it harder to sleep, a cycle that can spiral quickly in seniors. When you eat a sugary or carb-heavy snack late in the evening, your blood sugar rises and your body responds by releasing insulin. This spike and subsequent drop don't happen instantly. It can take hours. As you drift into sleep, your body is still working to manage the excess sugar, keeping your metabolism unnecessarily active. High nighttime insulin levels suppress the natural release of growth hormone and melatonin, two hormones critical for deep, restorative sleep. If your blood sugar drops sharply a few hours later, the body responds with a surge of cortisol and adrenaline to bring it back up. These wake-up hormones can cause you to stir, roll over restlessly, or even wake up entirely without understanding why. Mrs. Dalton, 74, had been struggling with fragmented sleep for years. She often woke at 2 or 3 a.m., heart racing, feeling uneasy. Her doctor initially suspected anxiety or age-related insomnia. But when Mrs. Dalton began tracking her blood sugar through the night with a continuous glucose monitor, a clear pattern emerged. Her glucose spiked after her nightly snack, usually a banana and a small glass of milk, then plunged in the early morning hours, triggering a stress hormone response that woke her up. Once she replaced her bedtime snack with a small serving of plain Greek yogurt, topped with a sprinkle of cinnamon and chopped walnuts, a combination high in protein and healthy fats but low in sugar. Her glucose remained stable, and her sleep improved dramatically. She no longer woke up in the middle of the night, and her energy in the mornings increased. This connection between sleep and blood sugar is more than just about feeling rested. Poor sleep disrupts insulin sensitivity the very next day, meaning your body becomes less efficient at managing sugar, even if your meals are the same. Over time, this adds to the risk of developing or worsening diabetes. So far, we've looked at the role of sugar and timing. But here's a twist. Some snacks can harm your glucose metabolism, not just because of sugar, but because of what else is hiding in them. In the next section, we'll explore the less obvious culprits, natural fruit acids, preservatives, and additives that can quietly disrupt your blood sugar control. When you think about blood sugar spikes, the first thing that comes to mind is usually refined sugar or processed carbs. But there's another layer of risk that often goes unnoticed: the natural compounds and additives in certain foods that can subtly disrupt your body's ability to control glucose. For seniors, whose systems are already more sensitive, these effects can be amplified. Let's start with fruit acids. Many dried fruits and even some fresh varieties contain naturally high levels of organic acids, such as malic, tartaric, and citric acids. In small amounts, these acids aren't harmful. In fact, they can have health benefits. But eaten at night, especially in concentrated dried forms, they can irritate the stomach lining, alter digestion speed, and in some cases, trigger mild stress responses in the body. These stress responses release cortisol, which can indirectly raise blood sugar. Then there are preservatives, like sulfites in dried apricots, raisins, and prunes. Sulfites extend shelf life and preserve color, but they can also cause subtle inflammation in sensitive individuals. Chronic, low-grade inflammation can make your cells more resistant to insulin, pushing blood sugar higher over time. Another overlooked culprit is the no sugar added trap. Many snacks carry this label, leading seniors to believe they're completely safe. But these products can still contain fruit juice concentrates, maltodextrin, or sugar alcohols. Sugar alcohols like sorbitol or maltitol may have a smaller impact on blood sugar than table sugar, but they can disrupt the gut microbiome if eaten in excess. A disrupted gut microbiome has been linked to poorer glucose control and increased inflammation. Take Mr. Lee, 66, a retired engineer who thought he had his evening snacks under control. He had switched from cookies to a small bowl of no sugar-added dried mango, believing it was the perfect guilt-free treat. But over the course of a few months, he began experiencing bloating, digestive discomfort, and occasional headaches. His fasting glucose also started creeping upward. When his diet was reviewed, the dried mango turned out to be a concentrated source of both natural sugars and fruit acids, with added preservatives for color retention. The combination was enough to irritate his digestion, disrupt his gut bacteria, and contribute to elevated nighttime glucose. After replacing his snack with a small serving of cottage cheese and fresh berries, his digestion improved, and his fasting glucose returned to normal within weeks. The takeaway here is that the danger of nighttime snacks isn't always obvious from the nutrition label's sugar content. For seniors, the type of sugar, the presence of natural acids, and the additives all play a role in how your body processes that food. And if marketing labels can be this misleading, it raises a big question. How much of what you believe about healthy snacks is actually true? That's exactly what we'll examine in the next section, where we'll break down the illusion of healthy marketing and show you how to spot the traps before they land you in trouble. Walk down any grocery store aisle and you'll see it. Rows of brightly packaged snacks boasting phrases like heart healthy, low fat, all natural, and no added sugar. These labels are designed to earn your trust instantly, but they often hide the real story. For seniors who may be trying to make better choices for their health, these marketing tactics can be especially misleading. One of the biggest traps is the low-fat claim. When manufacturers remove fat from a product, they often add extra sugar or refined carbs to make up for the loss of flavor and texture. This means your low-fat yogurt or pudding might actually have more sugar than its full-fat counterpart, creating a bigger blood sugar spike, particularly harmful if eaten before bed. Then there's the heart-healthy label. While some foods genuinely support cardiovascular health, this label can legally be used on products that meet certain fat and cholesterol guidelines, even if they're loaded with sugar. A granola bar made with oats and coated in honey can technically be labeled heart-healthy, despite having the same glycemic impact as a candy bar. The no added sugar label can be equally deceptive. A product may have no added table sugar, but still be packed with naturally occurring sugars from fruit juice concentrate, date paste, or honey. These sugars can raise blood glucose just as effectively as refined sugar. In some cases, the label relies on sugar alcohols like maltitol, which can still affect blood sugar levels in sensitive individuals and cause digestive discomfort. Mrs. Patel, 69, learned this lesson after relying on a popular all-natural nut and fruit mix as her nightly snack. The package proudly proclaimed no added sugar and source of fiber. But when her doctor recommended she keep a food journal alongside her blood sugar readings, a pattern emerged. Every morning after eating the snack, her fasting glucose was 15 to 20 points higher. The culprit was the dried cranberries and banana chips in the mix, sweetened with fruit juice concentrate and fried in oil, creating a double hit of sugar and fat that her nighttime metabolism couldn't handle. Food marketing thrives on the assumption that people won't read the fine print. The key to protecting yourself is learning to look beyond the front of package claims and examine the ingredient list and nutrition facts panel. For seniors especially, it's not just about sugar grams. It's about the source of the sugar, the processing, and the timing of consumption. By now, you might be wondering, if so many healthy snacks are actually landmines for your blood sugar, what's left that you can enjoy after dinner without harming your health? In the next section, we'll cover satisfying, diabetes-friendly alternatives that won't sabotage your blood sugar. And we'll hear from someone who transformed their nighttime snacking habit with remarkable results. By this point, it's clear that many so-called healthy snacks can quietly sabotage your blood sugar, especially when eaten at night. But giving up after-dinner snacks entirely isn't the only option. The key is to choose foods that have a minimal impact on glucose, provide steady energy, and still feel satisfying. For seniors, that often means pairing low glycemic carbs with protein and healthy fats, a combination that slows digestion and prevents sharp spikes. One of the best options is a small handful of nuts, almonds, walnuts, or pistachios. They're rich in healthy fats, fiber, and magnesium, which can actually help improve insulin sensitivity. Another excellent choice is cottage cheese or plain Greek yogurt paired with a few fresh berries. The protein and fat in the dairy slow the release of the berries' natural sugars, making the snack both safe and satisfying. Nut butter on celery sticks offers a crunchy, savory option with healthy fats that keep you full without raising blood sugar significantly. If you're craving something warm and comforting, try herbal tea with a slice of avocado toast on low-carb bread. It's filling, rich in nutrients, and gentle on glucose control. Mr. Benson, 71, is proof that small changes can yield big results. For years, his nightly snack was a bowl of sweetened granola with skim milk. He enjoyed the crunch and believed it was a healthy way to end the day. But his HbA1c crept up over time, and his fasting blood sugar hit pre-diabetic levels. His doctor suggested replacing his snack with a small serving of cottage cheese, topped with chopped walnuts and a sprinkle of cinnamon. At first, Mr. Benson was skeptical, but within 2 months, his morning glucose readings dropped by 20 points on average, his energy in the mornings improved, and his weight began to stabilize. He even noticed fewer nighttime bathroom trips, a sign his blood sugar was staying more stable overnight. The lesson is clear. You don't have to go hungry at night. You just have to be strategic. The best after-dinner snacks for seniors are those that contain little to no added sugar, include protein or healthy fats, are portion-controlled to avoid overloading your digestive system before bed, support steady, gradual energy release, rather than sharp spikes. Now that we've explored safer snack options, it's time to wrap this up with a clear action plan. In the final section, we'll recap the dangers of late-night healthy snacks, share a full list of diabetes-safe alternatives, and give you practical tips for enjoying food without sacrificing your health. We've covered a lot in this journey, and the takeaway is simple but powerful. For seniors, late-night healthy snacks can be anything but harmless. With age, your body's ability to process sugar slows, insulin sensitivity declines, and nighttime metabolism shifts into a lower gear. The snacks you once thought were safe, dried fruits, granola bars, low-fat yogurts, can now cause prolonged glucose spikes, fueling inflammation, disrupting sleep, and nudging you closer to diabetes. The real danger is their disguise. Clever packaging, buzzwords like low-fat or no added sugar, and health halos around certain foods can make it easy to overlook what's inside. As we've seen with Mr. Carter, Mrs. Eleanor, Mr. Harold, Mrs. Kim, Mr. Alvarez, Mrs. Dalton, Mr. Lee, Mrs. Patel, and Mr. Benson, the harm isn't theoretical. It's real, measurable, and preventable. But here's the good news. You are not powerless. By understanding how your body changes with age and choosing snacks that work with your metabolism, you can protect your blood sugar, preserve your health, and still enjoy satisfying foods in the evening. Here are 6 diabetes-safe nighttime snack ideas to keep you nourished without causing harm. A handful of raw almonds or walnuts, rich in healthy fats and magnesium to support insulin function. Cottage cheese with fresh berries. Protein slows sugar release from the berries. Celery sticks with almond butter, crunchy, filling, and low carb. Plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon and chia seeds, high protein, fiber-rich, and naturally sweet without sugar. Avocado slices with sea salt, nutrient-dense and virtually no impact on blood sugar. Hard-boiled egg with a sprinkle of paprika, quick, portable, and stabilizing for glucose. Timing rules for safer snacking. Eat your last snack at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. Pair any carb with protein or fat. Avoid dried fruits, sweetened dairy, and processed snack bars at night. Keep portions small. Think snack, not second dinner. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Every choice you make with food is a vote for the health you want tomorrow. Your future self will thank you for the awareness and discipline you practice today. Before we close, I want to leave you with this. You have the power to rewrite your health story at any age. Even small, consistent changes can lower your blood sugar, reduce your risk of diabetes, and give you more energy to enjoy life fully. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0 point. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another senior health tip designed just for you. This slowdown is natural. Your body assumes you'll be resting, not fueling up for more activity. Insulin production becomes less efficient, and the cells that respond to insulin become less sensitive. Think of it like a security gate that closes partway in the evening. It's still open enough to let some sugar in, but much of it is left waiting outside in your bloodstream. Now imagine what happens when you eat a carbohydrate-rich snack at 9 or 10 p.m. The sugar in that food lingers in your blood far longer than it would in the morning, creating higher peaks and slower returns to normal. This extended exposure is damaging in 2 key ways. It stresses your pancreas, which has to work overtime to produce enough insulin, and it exposes your blood vessels and nerves to prolonged high sugar conditions, accelerating the complications of diabetes. Mrs. Kim, 65, learned this the hard way. A retired office manager, she prided herself on keeping her weight under control and avoiding sweets during the day. But she had a nightly ritual, a small bowl of low-fat pudding after her favorite evening TV show. She believed it was harmless. After all, it was only about 120 calories. When she began feeling unusually fatigued in the mornings and occasionally waking with mild headaches, she assumed it was stress. But a routine check revealed her fasting. Blood glucose had crept up over the past year. At her doctor's suggestion, she tested her blood sugar before bed and again upon waking. The results were eye-opening. Her blood sugar was still elevated in the morning from that late snack the night before. The culprit wasn't just the pudding's sugar content, it was the timing. Her body, slowed by circadian rhythms, wasn't equipped to process those carbs effectively while she slept. Instead of using the sugar for immediate energy, it circulated in her bloodstream, keeping insulin levels high and disrupting the natural nighttime drop that's essential for metabolic health. This mismatch between your body's clock and your eating schedule is called circadian misalignment, and research shows it's a major risk factor for type 2 diabetes, even in people who eat a healthy diet. If the timing of your snack is this critical, you might be wondering, is the sugar spike itself the only concern, or is there more happening under the surface? Next, we'll dig into an overlooked consequence of these nighttime spikes, the silent inflammation that can silently erode your health over time.